All right, what is going on, my dudes? Today we're talking about the newest champion entering MCOC, and this is going to be this blue bastard right here. Attuma entering MCOC, man, entering MCOC. And he does some pretty interesting things in the game. So he has a lot, he's one of the champions with a lot of text in his abilities, right? Like so much text. And let me tell you something, he is very confusing if it's not like broken down for you. So instead of reading through everything, I'm just going to break it down for you and just let you know exactly what's going on, like we always do, but even more so today. So basically, he has this really new interesting way to deal with ability accuracy, where he straight up reverses all ability accuracy on you. Now, even if you have any beneficial ability accuracy, it's going to be reversed, which is really interesting. Now, yes, of course, this can hurt you in very rare niche scenarios, but at the end of the day, I can't even think of too many times when like your ability accuracy is increased, and even if it is, it's not going to be like really messing with anything in his kit too much. So, but that goes along with stuff like disorients, concussions, all of that sort of stuff. Their potency is reversed. So when you go to parry, when your defensive ability accuracy is reduced and it just doesn't work and it's just really annoying, well, he's going to pretty much completely ignore that, which is really, really cool. So, all of these numbers in this kit that have a blue number, right? 100%, 100%, 120%, 200%, 50%, 110%, all of those, right? Any ability that has a listed chance has over a 100% chance to trigger. So let's say your ability accuracy is reduced by 500%, right? So that's going to be swapped. So you're going to have an additional 500% ability accuracy. And if you have a 100% chance to trigger something, it's going to trigger more times because of that, right? So that's definitely pretty cool. So on top of that, he has the Killmonger mechanic, right? You hit him, he has a 15% chance to deal Thorns damage. He's got that annoying skilled champion Thorns damage for defense. Also, whenever an opponent evades, an Attuma has less than 1 bar of power, he has a 100% chance to instantly gain 10% of his max power and passively go unstoppable for 0.5 seconds. Now, of course, the more concussions you have, you can gain more than just 10%. That's how that works, see? On top of that, Atuma's base regen rate is 25%, kind of like how like Daredevil and Kingpin do that. However, this guy's can go up to, we'll get to that later, but it goes up. We'll talk about that in the next section. It starts at 25%. It starts going up pretty fast, and it cannot be lowered more than 25%, which is interesting. So he can't really be affected by like, Petrify and Spectre too badly, which is definitely nice. So hydration is like one of this guy's main mechanics, okay? So basically, he uses a special attack, and he gets a certain amount of hydration based on where your ability accuracy lies at that time. Now, with every stack of hydration up to 20, your attack rating is increased and your regeneration rate is increased by 1.75%. So up to 20 of those, okay? At 10 stacks, become immune to incinerate and you gain a passive precision. At 19 stacks, you're passively unstoppable. And while you're inflicted with or immune to an incinerator shock, you lose 1 stack of hydration, and hydration falls off 30% faster while suffering from cold snap. Now, his heavy attacks. You have a 100% chance to purify non-damaging debuffs, and of course, if your ability accuracy is increased, you're going to be purifying a lot of debuffs, okay? Now, you can't purify concussions because any of these debuffs that you purify get replaced with concussions that reduce your ability accuracy by 50%. Now, if no non-damaging debuffs are present, which more often than not, this will be the case, the ability consumes the oldest stack of hydration instead, you see? So pretty much, the cycle here is going to be use a special attack, gain hydration, use a heavy attack, gain concussions, right? Use those concussions to reduce your ability accuracy, have it reversed, and then get extra benefits on all of your things, okay? Now, really cool, this ability also triggers when Attuma is inflicted with a stun or infuriate. Now, really cool on offense, not cool on defense. You really can't parry this guy unless you're using Bishop, Storm, Storm X, or anybody with the White Magneto pre-fight, or any other champion who does that. I don't believe I'm missing out anybody there. But yeah, that sort of mechanic is going to be very useful against him. So his special attacks. The special one, you gain hydration. Also, you gain a true accuracy passive that lasts for 7 seconds and fall off 1 at a time. So if you get to the point in your ability accuracy cycle where you have 10 true accuracies, you have it for over 1 minute. So he has a very strong evade and auto block counter because of this, where you can just spam that special one over and over, never have to worry about it. Same thing with evade. Did I say evade? Special attack 2. 200% chance to gain 2 stacks of hydration, and each hit has a 50% chance to grant Attuma a cruelty passive, increasing your critical damage rating. And also triggering one of those cruelties pauses your concussions for those 10 seconds, okay? So the special 3, 110% chance to gain 5 stacks of hydration, and 100% chance to inflict a bleed debuff on the opponent, dealing a lot of direct damage over 20 seconds. Now, you can stack a lot of these bleeds, okay? And when one of these bleeds fail to apply due to an immunity, instead inflict a physical vulnerability debuff that reduces the opponent's physical resistance by a lot, okay? Now, his Sig ability is pretty darn nice. It pretty much makes him 100% resistant to bleed with the Coagulate Mastery, okay? Minus 90% reduced potency, makes him an option for Biohazard and Caltrops. Attuma's Rough Skin can now deal damage anytime he strikes its opponent. In addition, its damage is increased by 10% for each bleed effect on either champion. So it's kind of like that Thorns damage, just you could put it on the defender as well, and with bleeds it does extra damage. Now, also his energy resistance is increased by a decent bit for each stack of hydration. At 20 stacks, it's going to be up there, but usually when you need the energy resist, you need it from the beginning of the fight. So yeah, I feel like, his loop is a little bit interesting and weird, right? But I feel like it's going to be a lot easier if I just show you a video of this kind of fight. So that's how he works. That's the breakdown. Let's see it in action. We're going to go for a 6.4 Deadpool first. All right, this is kind of like a nice little Battlegrounds Alliance War health pool here. Okay, so first thing you want to do is build to under 2 bars of power. Okay, so we're going to get there, and we're going to just toss it off. And as you can see, we gained 1 true accuracy and 3 stacks of hydration. Here, heavy attack going to convert those hydrations right into concussion. So now we have 3 concussions. One thing about his light attack, by the way, really quick, you may have noticed, he does not move with his light attack, so it makes it really easy for intercepting. You can actually be hitting them on the block, dash back, throw the light, and you're going to get the nice intercept there against most champions. I'm sure there's going to be some champions animations where you can't do that against, but yeah. So here we have 9 stacks of hydration. You see how our ability accuracy, we got the concussions, and then we got more hydrations. At this point, we have 12 concussions. So our ability accuracy is increased technically because it's reversed by quite a bit. We're going to go for our special 2 now, and we're going to pause all of those concussions, and we're going to gain our cruelties, and we're going to gain 20 stacks of hydration. We're going to get our precision, and we're going to go unstoppable. Okay, so our concussions are still paused. As you can see, our cruelties are just about to go away. That's it. In my opinion, I think they can last a little bit longer. I think they can last about 50% longer. I think that would be nice for his kit there. But regardless, 27 now. So now we're going to get even more cruelties, right? 7 per hit, basically. Look at that. And the damage ramps up and ramps up and ramps up. So he does have a little bit of a ramp there, as you can see, right? But he's not the quickest, speediest champion in the game. So when it comes to Battlegrounds on offense, he's going to be solid for certain things. For certain defenders, especially science champions, to put non-damaging debuffs on you, allowing you to ramp up that much faster, just turning them all to concussions, going right to special 2. He's definitely going to be good for those certain niche matchups there. But on defense, he's going to be a real pain in the butt, and pretty much regardless of the node, he's going to be kind of annoying on defense. You really can't parry this guy, and when you do, it just increases the burst damage that you take from the concussions he's going to gain, and he's going to heal from it. So he's going to be a real pain in the butt on defense, in my opinion. So let's take out a little bit of a longer fight here. It's going to be Realm of Legends Captain Marvel, because I'm just sick of seeing Winter Soldier, right? So pretty much the same initial ramp up here. We'll skip to the special 2, right? Boom, there we go. And now at this point, what I actually want to do is I'm going to go for the special 3. Right there. I was talking about that. So check it out. I'm going to hit her block. Right? Dash back. Boom. He doesn't move on the light attack. It's nice. Those are like nice little tiny animation things that are like very underrated in certain champions. Like APOC is like that. He has the distance on the dash back to go for that with the light attack, which is really nice. It's not like the best utility in the game by any stretch of the imagination, but it's something that's nice, So here, actually going to go for another special 2 now that we've ramped up quite a bit. And as you can see, Captain Marvel's down about 250,000 health at this point. We're going to have a lot of our concussions by the time we get back up to the special 3, because we are going to go for the special 3. We took a hit there, but that's okay, because we're going to be healing from those concussions consistently, which is really nice. So 39 concussions, okay? And this this Captain Marvel Classic has about, right now, 250,000 health left. Okay, so we're going for this, right? Let's say we're doing like an Eternity of Pain type of boss content thing with Attuma. This is probably the rotation you want to go for. As you can see, she's taking over 10,000 damage per second. 10,400 damage over time per second. And this, by the way, is 0 deep wounds, no suicide masters or anything, and the bleeds didn't even get 75% of the way done. So he can do some big, beefy special 3 nuke damage there. And that was about 2 minutes total. Now, again, I probably didn't have to do that third special 2 or the second special 2, however many I did. Because I probably could have just went for the special 3, and I probably could have killed her off from there, especially if you're running the suicide masteries. But yeah, you know, when you do run him with the suicides, it's interesting because he has 25% base regen rate at the beginning, so he's going to be losing a bit. But at the same time, at max sig, he takes 90% reduced damage from bleed, so you're not really going to be taking too much damage from that, and you're going to get the concussion right away. So as your hydration builds, you're going to have the willpower healing from the poison and from the concussion with the regen rate higher. So he's decent with them for sure. He's an interesting champion to use with them. It's kind of like if Daredevil Hell's Kitchen worked a little bit better with them, where he's not going to be at like 100% all the time, but he kind of fluctuates in a nice way where it's definitely manageable and the damage increase is nice. But let's take a look at some utility here where he's going to be really solid for this fight. So this is an 7.2, I think. Under pressure, when you dash back twice, you gain a disorient on you, reducing your defensive ability accuracy. But as we all know, that's not going to actually do anything to us. On top of that, encroaching stun, heavy assault, and foresight. He's going to be really solid for this path here, and just nodes like this in general. So whenever you see those like ability accuracy modification nodes, he's going to be really solid for. Now, against this Cosmic Ghost Rider here, right? We have our armor break because we're a villain, you know? That's a non-damaging debuff. Guess what? We can get rid of that thing if we go for a heavy attack. But I guess I'm not doing it yet. I guess I'm not purposefully getting those debuffs. Watch, this encroaching stun is about to happen. Check it out. Stun is gone, and we got the concussion, okay? So that's really nice. Makes him really good for a encroaching stun. At this point, we're going to go for our special 1, and we gain 3 of our hydrations, okay? We're going to go for a heavy attack here after a little bit of an intercept there, because we got heavy assault up as well. So as you can see, some big damage on his heavies. He's got some chunky heavies, man. And the encroaching stun's going to trigger again. It's gone, right? Going to go right for the special 1. 15 of our hydrations. Nice go. Oh, nice big almost 40k heavy attack there. Not too bad, right? Not too bad at all. And again, we don't have to worry about the disorient or anything like that. Don't have to worry about the concussions on us, obviously. And as you can see, we're just kind of just like doing our rotation pretty casually here. Here comes encroaching stun once more, and it's gone. It's gone. There is that split second, that split like quarter of a second where the stun is there. So you definitely want to keep an eye out for that. But as you can see, this is kind of usually one of those fights where you leave with like a bunch of chip damage. You know what I mean? Like you leave this fight usually with a bunch of chip damage. And as you can see, he's certainly not the fastest champion here, right? But I mean, the encroaching stun was nice there, but we're staying stocked up pretty easily at 100%. I'm also not playing this like super duper optimally from a damage standpoint. I'm kind of letting the encroaching stun, you know, tick out so that we can really see the stuns getting purified there. But as you can see, it's going to happen again. I'm going to let it happen. It's just gone, right? And we're going to go for a special 2 to finish it all off here after an intercept. And yeah, I mean, we finished with 100% health. Like I said, these fights, you know, it's a tougher lane, man, and you take a lot of chip damage there. So on top of that, let's take a look at some of his true accuracy potential here against this Ultron. This is in 6.3.1. He's got the Mesmerize Ultron, so he's going to be evading quite a bit, right? But what we want to do here essentially, there's also Pilfer, so any buff that we gain is going to potentially go away, give him power or give him regen or whatever it is. I'm not even sure. But what I want to do basically is just keep spamming special 1s here. So you know how like eventually you get to like, we've been doing special 2s and special 3s. You know how we had like 43 of those bleeds? We could have had 43 of those true accuracy passives, you know, which is nice. So Pilfer is going to get the power and all this other fun stuff. So yeah. But anyway, we're going to go for one more heavy attack here. We're going to gain 3 concussions. And now we're going to go for the special 1 again and check it out. 3 true accuracies, and they last for 7 seconds each. Just 21 seconds of true accuracy. All it took was 2 special 1s there. Now we're going to do our heavy attacks again, convert those those hydration stacks into more concussions, and then we're gonna go for another special one, right? After we get out of this over here. Boom, here we go. And now we have 7 stacks. So we're up to 7 times 7 is 49, right? 49 seconds. And we have 20 stacks of hydration. As you can see, it just keeps building and keeps building and keeps building. 15 stacks, right? And of course, at this point, go for the special 2. Even the special 3 is going to put a beefy physical vulnerability on this Ultron, you know? So obviously, when it comes to like those matchups where you want to counter evade, counter auto block, he's very solid for them. At this point, we have 19 stacks of 7-second true accuracy. And again, I'm not even going for damage here. This is where you'd want to go for the special 2. What's going on here? Going for the special 1. Nice. While he's at 3 bars of power, oh my god, Ultron's going to go for a special 3 and put a stun on us. Wait a minute. We're going to shrug it off. It's gone. And we have a bleed. But wait a minute. We take no damage from bleed. So, nice little niche things there. We now are going to go for another special 1. 44 stacks. 44. Those true accuracies are never falling off at this point, right? So yeah, obviously you want to go for the special 2 at that point. You want to go for special 3, finish off the fight. But that's really just like if you really need that true accuracy. It's very solid there. Now, this is an interesting one against Black Panther. Also pretty topical, right? Attuma versus Black Panther. So Caltrops plus it's the node. You know, it's just in general against Black Panther. Whenever he puts a bleed on you, there's a bleed on you, your defensive ability accuracy is reduced by a certain bit, right? I think it's 10% per bleed, plus Panther's Might, reduced by another 50%. So right now, we should have minus 100% defensive ability accuracy reduction. But nope, because it's going to be reversed. So we actually have plus 100% defensive ability accuracy reduction. So pretty interesting, right? It's one of those abilities where, like, you know, you may not even realize like why that could possibly be useful until like one day it really is, you know? There are those nodes like insult to injury where like every debuff on you reduces your defensive ability accuracy by 10%. So on top of having the 3 debuffs right now, bringing us to 5 now, bringing us to minus 250%, right? Reversing that to 250%. We'd have another 10% per, right? And then we're going to have a total of 300%. So just things like that, where he's going to be like excel on nodes like that and make him ramp up that much faster and just make him very solid. So he's very beefy. He's a very beefy champ. He's pretty sustainable. He's pretty simple to play once you really understand like what you're doing with him, and he's pretty smooth to play. He's certainly not the fastest. So that's what makes me a little apprehensible about him for Battleground specifically, but I think he'll potentially have some use for Alliance War. I think that his damage output is suited nicely for Alliance War. That sort of health pool where you don't have to rush to be getting through fights in 30 seconds, which I think is like, one of the biggest flaws for Battlegrounds, making it a little bit less fun than it could be, where it really turns into a bit of a nuke fest, where, a champion like this and Shuri, for example, who are both very well designed, in my opinion, but have just a little bit lower damage or have to ramp up to the high damage that they have, it's going to hurt their value a little bit in Battlegrounds because there's always going to, no matter what the meta is, there's going to be a group of 5 or 6 champions. Even when you take Torch and Archangel out of the equation, like the previous Crit Me with your best shot meta, there's always going to be those champions who just nuke through the rest, and I don't really see Attuma or Shuri ever being one of those champions. So that's definitely going to hurt their value offensively. However, defensively, I think he's going to be a real pain in the ass for many nodes, and any node where you have to parry. Have to is a strong word, of course, but no, you really want to parry. I think he's going to be really rough, especially without a proper counter. So that's where I think he's going to be excelling really well when it comes to Battlegrounds. I think on defense, I think on top of that in Alliance War, I think on offense he'll certainly find a few places. When it comes to synergies, he has some decent ones. Attuma gains 20% bleed potency, but suffers minus 25% ability accuracy out of the gate, right? So that's really solid for helping his ramp up. Also, 20% bleed potency on 10,000 damage over time per second. That's an additional 2,000 damage per second. It's really good. And this synergy for Namor is amazing. you suffer minus 25% bleedability accuracy. This is like getting him closer to how he was before that nerf that made him slower to play. That's really solid if you're a Namor fan. Over here, you gain plus 20% attack rating when fighting at class advantage, and you get the same 20% disadvantage. This is actually a really solid amount of attack increase, specifically for, you know, Juggernaut, Titania, and Thing, who are 3 very good champions. Hulk, not. Should have been maybe like Immortal Hulk there. Don't know what's up with that. Or She-Hulk, or Red Hulk, or any other Hulk, really. Frequent Kidnapper Miles. Power gain from the opponent evading is increased by a flat 15%. That's decent because it's 10%, so 25%. Again, you know, you don't really, that's for like the beginning of the fight before you have that true accuracy. Wasp, 10% chance for her to trigger her personal purify for each debuff on her. Definitely not bad. This one with Invisible Woman is kind of cracked, not gonna lie, really good. Landing a heavy attack while invisibility is unpaused, repaused it. The biggest problem with Invisible Woman is like you mess up once, it's all over. Here, if you mess up, you go, oh crap, throw a heavy attack, you're still in it. Your invisibility is paused, and you get to keep going. With Phoenix, heavy attacks have a 25% chance to grant a Phoenix Force charge. That's definitely nice. I like Phoenix a bunch, especially with synergies. This one's confusing, so we'll come back to the last one anyway. So over here, with the Man-Thing, your agitation falls off slower. With Toad, heavy attack refreshes poison debuffs on the opponent, and it still removes them. Over here, with Attuma, start the fight with a dormant hydration charge that, while active, grants a 50% chance to gain up to 10 stacks of hydration on a well-timed block. When hydration is gained this way, the charge is consumed. It's reapplied when Attuma gains hydration from another source. Basically, you have to parry to activate that hydration. You get it, you use your heavy attack, you turn it into concussion, use a special attack, and you gain the dormant charge again. Get rid of those hydrations, parry, get it back. It just speeds up his ramp. So if you combine him with Namor and Man-Thing or Toad, you can definitely significantly increase his ramp up there, or decrease his ramp up there. It's a better way to say that, I guess. But overall, he's cool. I think he's really well designed. I think in shorter fights, his damage is a little bit lower, but in like medium length fights, I think his damage is pretty darn solid. But yeah, he's got some solid utility too. Could be pretty cool to use. But that's going to be it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop your boy a big ol' like. Let me know what you think about Attuma in the comment section below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future champion videos just like this coming to you in the future. I'll be seeing you around.